Normally, when we work together, it's off the back of a Spurs defeat and Arsenal win. So this is quite rare. Which I'm not complaining. I say I actually walked into the Spurs stadium. Got to the top of the stairs from where I sit, and more or less to see the monitor, just to see the Buendia goal. The place went up. It was almost like we'd scored half an hour before kickoff. So
you all looking at Joe thinking, I didn't think Saturday could get any better.
Well, when we
just taken on to another level.
When we finally won a game, it was I saw a bit of it before I set off for the ground, and I watched a bit on the train and stuff. And it was a cracking match, a real ding dong do. And then I listened to the closing stages, walking up to our team, bringing you the match. And there was a little period, wasn't there? Sort of 60, 70 minutes, you would have said Arsenal were now on to get it after they equalised. And then Villa came on strong at the end. And I was listening and thinking, draw sounds like a fair result.
Do you know what? I think, as you said there, for the neutral, it was like a brilliant game to watch. And it's credit to both managers, also Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta, that when it went to 1-1 and we were in the ascendancy when Trossard scored, both managers went to win the game.
Yeah.
They didn't actually think, you know what, Arteta could have thought this is a decent point away from home against Villa. He thought, no, if you want to win titles, you've got to try and win them. And that leaves you a little bit more open. And then obviously there was the mayhem from like the 90th minute onwards where Villa are on top, and then they get like the scramble when Dia finishes it. And I suppose, obviously I've got a dog in the fight. A draw would have been a fair result, but then you couldn't have moaned either way.
No.
Like Villa winning it, or if we'd have won it. Do you know what I mean? So I know there's going to be a lot of noise. You know, Man City have closed the gap to 2 points.
Well, where do you think that leaves Villa? Having looked at Villa in data, and you've watched them a fair bit this season, you've been working for us at games. I mean, do you see them as a threat? You think they can sustain a challenge then?
It all depends what they do in the January transfer window, because I think their squad is a little bit light, obviously, when you're having to go on weekends in the Premier League, then you're playing in Europe, then you're playing in Premier League again. And if you look back to last January's transfer window, they had a brilliant one because they brought in Marcus Rashford, didn't it, on loan, Asensio coming home, Marlon came in, and that enabled them to kick on. So quite rightly, Emery will be looking at the owners. I know they're struggling with the PSR rules and, what they can go and spend.
Yeah.
But he knows that I think he probably needs 3 players at least. And I'm not talking about 3 squad players. I'm talking about 3 players that are ready to go in the first team and put those players in the first 11 under pressure if they're going to kick on.
We're going to go back to that game. Danny Kelly's going to join us. We're going to go game by game through the Premier League weekend. Of course, we'll go into that game in a bit more detail. The big story, really, of the weekend has been that Mo Salah interview. We were both watching it back, weren't we, and feeling for the Liverpool press officer, who at that moment when he says, you can just see him in the background at the moment when Mo Salah says, I feel like the club have thrown me under the bus. It's real thick of it country, because you can see him wince and immediately go for his phone, probably saying to his boss, saying, this is bad. Mo's gone postal on us.
It's not just seeing him wince. You could actually eye read, because his eyes, the exact words that have gone into his head. And obviously and lots of expletives. And he's thinking...
He just has a lot of mopping up to do.
I think it got lost in translation. I think he's been misinterpreted.
Well, we're going to have a chat with Tony Evans, the Liverpool fan and author and podcaster, and just get his take. Normally a very level-headed soul. So we'll get his take on what went on and where Mo Salah's at. On the face of it, it did look a bit like a kind of waning talent whose ego couldn't take the fact that maybe he's not going to be starting games anymore. I mean, it's happened quite quickly, isn't it, really? He was player of the season across the board last year. He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but your legs can go all of a sudden. And the reason that this was completely premeditated is that he has a sense of entitlement where he thinks because he's Mo Salah and what he's done before, he deserves to be in Liverpool's starting 11. And the reason that he's only just been dropped, he's just missed the last 3 games, is because he's Mo Salah. Is because if it was any other player who was just a normal Liverpool player, they'd have been dropped probably 6 or 7 games ago.
Yeah.
And these managers will tell you that they treat players the same. They don't. You're treated on a different scale. So if you're like a superstar like Mo Salah, you're allowed probably 2, 3, 4 bad games before the manager even thinks about dropping you.
Yeah.
If you're someone like Curtis Jones and you have 1 dodgy game, then you're going to be.
You said, I mean, you were very honest to me earlier on. You said that's kind of where you were
absolutely.
There's certain players that, as you said, there'd be certain players in the Arsenal team you played in. They could have 4 bad games, but by reputation they stayed. But often, if you had a bad game, George would stick you on the bench.
Yeah, well, if I had a bad half or a bad game, being an average player in the Arsenal hierarchy, then I knew I'd be dropped. But if you're someone like Paul Merson, like Mercer's my best mate, he knew he could probably have 2.5, 3 dodgy games before, again, George Graham even thought about dropping him. So there is different levels and there's different hierarchy. But you have no divine right to be in Liverpool starting 11.
That was the surprise that he said that, and really, wasn't it? I mean,
ego. Yeah. Everybody says, obviously, that...
I mean, can you be that good and not have an ego? Really?
Well, the thing is, we get, everybody knows that Cristiano Ronaldo's got like a massive ego because he's just out there. And it's always purported that Mo Salah is one of those ones who's, very humble, very down to earth. That interview, and the thing that amazed me about the interview was it was premeditated. He knew exactly what he was going to say because he very rarely stops when he goes through the media zone anyway. But he had like smile. He wasn't like he was angry or he was raging. He had like a smirk or a smile on his face and a glint in his eyes, if to say, I know exactly what this is going to cause now. Yeah. And the ramifications this is going to have. And he's talking about throwing people under the bus, being thrown under the bus. It's him who's thrown the Liverpool hierarchy under the bus, Arne Slot under the bus, even his teammates as well, because he's come out and said something that he didn't need to say. So it's just that sense of entitlement, which I've got no time for. And it doesn't surprise me that we said that he's not going to be travelling to the Inter Milan game, because you don't want him anywhere near the football side of it and anywhere near the squad now, because it's going to be massive news and everything about it is negative. There's not one positive thing that can come out.
From Arne Slot's point of view, he was, he needed to get that result the other day. And if he felt that bringing Mo Salah, he's not going to cut off his nose to spite his face. If he felt that bringing Mo Salah into that off the bench against Leeds at the weekend was going to win them the game, he would have done that.
When you're in that sort of form, though, Paul, when your team's struggling, you've obviously seen Spurs struggle, I've seen Arsenal struggle. You can't carry players that don't do the work defensively. No. And with Mo Salah's not lazier than what he was.
But the structure of the team last year allowed him to do that. The structure now doesn't allow him.
I'm not sure it's just about structure.
Szoboszlai does get up and down, whereas Mo's very up front. He didn't do the defensive work, but he had other players to do that.
Yeah, but it was Mo Salah's numbers.
Sure.
Because what happens is, if you're not tracking back and you're a bit lazy and resting, but last season 29 Premier League goals and 18 assists, and he got Liverpool out of games where Liverpool weren't playing very well. And all of a sudden, he would do something brilliant where he cuts in from the right, bends at his left foot, or he creates a goal. So therefore, what happens when your team's playing well, you can carry Mo Salah defensively because you know he's going to get you out of trouble. When that sort of player doesn't then produce those brilliant moments of brilliance to get you out of trouble, then you're thinking, right, we need players now that are going to do the job defensively and they get back and protect the fullback, or it's like go and close down. So it's his stats and all of his figures is the reason that he's been dropped, but he was never ever going to get anywhere near the 29 goals and 8. Last season's stats were off the scale, completely off the scale. If he'd have had half the season of last year, it would still been good numbers.
This was a team structured to make him shine, wasn't it? It was basic. I mean, the way they set the team up and the kind of the personnel they would have had at that time, and many of which have moved on, and we lost one in tragic circumstances. It's different now, isn't it? It's a different structure, newer players, and he's been a bit of a victim of that. I mean, we're going to have a chat with Tony Evans in a minute, because Tony is a Liverpool fan and author and journalist, a long-standing, say, normally pretty level-headed. So we'll get his... I mean, it was interesting, some of the calls to Jeff and to Ali today on breakfast, where, I mean, there was a lot of people feeling that he was wrong to do it, but there was quite a few saying, he is kind of almost bigger than the club.
No, he's not. I'm really sorry.
This is the thing. If you're Arne Slot, if you're the hierarchy at Liverpool, I mean, if you're given the choice of building something new under a manager who won the title in his first season, he's going for a thing, but you've invested a lot of time, money and effort into making it work for him, against effectively, a 33-year-old whose maybe talent is waning a little bit. So who are you going to side with? I mean, if the idea was to throw the manager under the bus, I don't think that's worked. But it was interesting to hear what Tony...
Even you're getting angry. You're not even a Liverpool fan. It's outrageous what Salah said.
To hear what Tony thinks.
Did you take him at Spurs?
Well, we were talking about this. We were chatting, where's his likely destinations? The San Diego have got a rich Egyptian owner that would obviously love him to go there. But there's all this talk about the Saudi Pro League, and that seems the most likely. But who knows? I mean, it's difficult.
Do you think there's a bit of Arne Slot? Obviously, you don't want this like negativity and this being a big story, but if he was thinking of easing players like Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk out, all of a sudden Mo Salah's just giving him the perfect reason and situation where he might be thinking, you know what, mate, you've done this for me.
You've done him a favour.
Yeah, because if you was Arne Slot now, no matter what the hierarchy say and the owners say, for him to exert his authority and power, basically you say to Mo Salah, I'm not even going to talk about what you said now.
Yeah.
You can go away to AFCON now. You can go like 10 days, 2 weeks early, and I'll see you when you come back. That's it. You don't want him anywhere around this group of players now, because you want to have everything's got to be positive. It's got to be upbeat.
Yeah.
With Mo Salah around, there's going to be none of that.